feel this relaxing mode, I guess. And I went to the beach yesterday. It was a lot of people, and it was so beautiful there.
Aleksei.
Hello, hello.
Hola.
Online yet? Are we to?
Oh, there's Sue. Hey, Sue, we're up.
Multiple people.
Yeah, sit over there.
But I want to see all that.
Yeah, but then you gotta go.
Our colleagues are joining us.
We only got the speaker view. We need gallery view.
Hello, hello.
Change the view, whatever you want to do.
Can you put it into gallery so we see
Yeah,
all of them?
I don't know how to do that. I'm not good with
It is not
it.
that easy.
I think come on back over here. If I saw this, is it touch? Oops, there. What about that? Here we go.
Here we are. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you all?
Good.
We're dry at the moment.
For the moment.
We're walking to go for a swim, and we just had an Ethiopian dinner or lunch.
Lunner.
Marina.
Hello. Marina, hi.
Hello.
How are you? Good.
So great to see you all.
We're walking to go for a swim, and we just had an Ethiopian dinner or lunch.
Lunner. Oh.
Marina, hi.
I can't hear you.
Somebody has feedback there.
See you all.
Somebody has speaker and
Go for a swim, we just had an Ethiopian dinner or lunch. Lunner. Oh.
you.
Hi.
For us, not in the matrix to each other though.
Dear colleagues, it's a little bit hard to hear you.
Yeah, exactly. They're in the matrix too. They can't hear each other.
Okay,
either.
so
It's not
we
just
need to
us.
put ourselves on mute whenever we're not speaking. So then they need to put themselves on mute
Unmute.
whenever they're not speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Now we can hear you better.
Okay,
Marina, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. So we are streaming to our YouTube channel,
Wow.
so that all our beautiful thoughts and our great meeting will stay in history.
That's amazing. So thank you all for joining us, and I would love to invite you to talk today about self-awareness. What does it mean to you? Why it's important? Or maybe it's not important. Maybe we are thinking a lot about ourselves, and maybe we need to think about something else. So I would love to invite you all to share your opinion, and let's discuss all together. And after that, I'll share a couple tools and frameworks which I love to use and offer to everyone, which can help to explore yourself, ourselves more a little bit. But before that, of course, let's create this amazing space of ideas, thoughts, and maybe definitions or like some type of wisdoms about self-awareness. Who would like to start? Please, Lev.
I hope you hear me well. Okay,
Yes,
so,
we can.
I'll start with a very practical sort of story. I'm 49 years old, and until maybe 33, I was living purely from my head. So of course I still had the body, but I remember that all of life was happening here, and it was perfectly fine. Lots of happiness, lots of joy, lots of everything. But then I discovered through some practices like self-awareness practice, Buddhist practice, etc., yoga and qigong, etc., I discovered that there is so much more of me. And self-awareness became not just awareness of my thoughts, but awareness of my energy states, of my sort of extended, let's say, energetic body, etc. And it gave me much more sense of being grounded and being independent of circumstances. So, and being aware of circumstances. And since we are in the Happy Cities Marathon, I should say that it also gave me, as one of the sort of active people in my city, it gave me an opportunity to be less afraid of tackling new challenges, because I realized there is so much of me, quote unquote, right? Before going beyond me, so first I discovered what is me, really. And so to finish off, and then I'll pass it on to Marilyn, I guess, next at the table. So this journey of self-exploration provided me with additional resources, additional power, additional sort of feeling of stability and fearlessness to tackle any circumstances in very practical manners, how to create communities, how to solve different urban issues, to very, I would say, existential things, like feeling that death is not an issue. There is so much more to life than the perceived physical sort of body, etc. So that was a beautiful journey. Maybe we'll have another chance to share. But for now, I pass it on to Marilyn Hamilton, one of the co-founders of Living Cities Earth, a co-founder of Integral City Metrics, author of many, many books on integral city development, and a wonderful human being.
Human being, be kind is what my t-shirt says.
Wonderful, thank you.
So be kind is a good bridge to how I think about being able to take care of myself through different perspectives. So I will take off my sunglasses as an illustration of perspective. One of the ways is in a very big perspective where I always remind myself at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, how am I going to care for myself? So be aware of how I care for myself, and in relation to that, how I care for others, and how altogether we care for our places, and altogether we care for the planet. So those are all different sort of fractals of self-awareness: person, people, place, and planet. And then I want to give you a very practical practice at the beginning of every day, which I learned at one of the very first integral conferences I ever went to. And it is to use the 4 directions. And in the first direction, I say, may my consciousness and then my behavior serve all beings in all places, liberating all into the suchness of this and every moment. So that is an integral self-awareness that I practice every day. And so thank you for inviting me. Now we want to go behind me and we'll go to Alexander.
Who is Alexander?
Who is Alexander?
Would you introduce him?
Oh.
I don't know that I need to introduce you any more than I needed to be introduced, but Alexander is here as a co-founder of Living Cities Earth, and also as a professor, also as a co-founder, I think, of the Laszlo Institute of New Paradigm Research, and many other things, including a flute player. There you go. That's my Alexander.
Didn't bring my flute, but hey. So I would like to, first of all, great to see you. Can I get a wave? I need a wave. There we go, Maria.
Likewise.
Okay, there we go. All right. So, self-awareness, I'm going to make a few distinctions here, the way I like to hold it. There is awareness of your body, which is called proprioception. And in proprioception, you're just aware of where your little toe is and what's going on even inside. But that leads to the interoception, different than proprioception. Proprioception, you would know all of your physical being, but interoception, you know your interior life, and you are aware of your interior life, of your feelings and your hurts and your pleasure and so on. That's the interoception. And I also want to make a distinction between being self-aware and being self-conscious. Not the same thing. So being self-aware is very liberating, and being self-conscious is often very constraining. Because when you're self-conscious, you're like, are they saying, do I look okay? And what do I sound okay? And so you often have, being self-conscious, you are not free to flow. And being self-aware is you seeing yourself in connection through proprioception, interoception, as well as connecting to your environment. It's all about connection and about relational intelligence. So I think self-awareness for me is an aspect of relational intelligence that starts with me. Where's home? What's my, who am I in relation to others? So it has to do with identity and belonging. Identity and belonging are key aspects of self-awareness. And I'm aware right now, getting a little self-conscious for how much I've been speaking. And so I'm going to pass it on to Majida, right here. And Majida is right above us. Majida is, wow, what a nurturer. And she brings the voice of care, the voice of, yes, indeed. Thank you for the prompt. But I was going to say that the voice of nourishment, the voice of inclusion, the voice of the heart, and often also the voice of those who are not voiced. Thank you for being with us.
Well, I'm very happy to be with this wonderful family, and Link City is like one wonderful family. And when well, the question of self-awareness for me, what comes is spaciousness. Then it's like a continuing journey, like a dance. And I feel it like sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. But the two things that help me sense it better is my breath and how am I breathing, how is my heart, and if the love is what's taking the majority of the place, or if there's something else. And so those are my two checkers that I find are easy check for everyone to come back to quickly. And yeah, and dance is the medicine that I would advise, because just like self-consciousness, self-aware, when we can let ourselves go with dance, then we know we're dancing with space. And this dancing with space is actually, for me, something I try to stay attentive to all the time, because even here, like the space, that I'm, wow. And that awareness helped me feel like one with everything. So that's what would come to me to just share about self-awareness right now, which is a continuing journey. Sometimes I am very clearly aligned with it, and sometimes I'm woo-hoo. And that's okay, because I hold space for awareness with those in and outs as well. And that the most important thing for me in that is to fall in love with the journey. And so and that was a big step of self-awareness, to let go of the self-blame and to say, okay, this is my journey, I'm aware of it, I'm holding my hand. So that would be what I'd have to share with that. And I pass it on to my brother, Pavel.
Want to introduce him?
Well, my introduction of Pavel would be that has a very loving heart, and that I met in Paris not long ago, and it was quite impressive how, though he's quite a big person, and then one would feel like a bit intimidated and scared, how quickly he's very warm. Is that, yeah, very warm human being, and at the same time quite brilliant and very concerned about the collective, which is what made me resonate with him. So that would be my introduction of Pavel.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you today. Enough already has been said about self-awareness of in terms of, let's say, our body and our emotions, and how we kind of ground ourselves in the presence and the space that we belong to. I think there are other dimensions that are also very important. One of them is being aware of your own identity, like who you are, what you are in the world, what are you in relationship with the world, and being aware of the world around you. So it's partially maybe about intellectual components, something that kind of helps us remember that we are part of this bigger system of human society, of biosphere, of the planet around us, that we belong to it, and it means something for us. But this also means that you can really connect with these systems that you are part of, and be aware and empathize with larger than yourself systems, larger than yourself processes of the city, of the territory, of the country, of the continent. How can you sense it, and how can that feeling that is part of our sensory system, because we're constantly in connection with larger life around us, we're constantly moving. How can that inform our daily actions? So there is a very good practice that I sometimes do, not every day. It's not maybe my daily practice, but it's something that I do once in a while, maybe once a week. It's like sensing into those larger than individual layers. Like, how can I align myself with the world? What does the world tell me? How do I feel my presence in this reality, in this universe, on this planet, and what it wants me to do? Because like the meaning of life doesn't come from ourselves. It comes from systems that are bigger than us, from what we belong to. So being aware of that, I feel, is really very, very important. And with that, I would like to pass on to my friend Robert. To whom? To Anne-Marie. Robert. Robert.
You said Robert.
Robert. I said Robert.
Always Robert.
Robert is actually an amazing human being. I just recently met, and Robert is now hosting us in this wonderful place in Switzerland. And he is a psychotherapist, and he's the one who helps people on the personal level, but also learns how to do it on this larger than human scale. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I feel really happy among all these people around me here. And about self-awareness, one thing could be very simple to say: it's being present, actually, just being here. And I would say self-awareness is not primarily a cognitive activity. It's more being, and then we sense and we feel how we feel ourselves, and we feel our surrounding. It belongs together. And it's seen like this, it's actually very simple if we manage to be in real presence. And to me, it helps also to slow down once in a while, to be more self-aware. I'm a guy who is active in many ways, and sometimes too active. And then I lose my self-awareness. And when I cool down and become more quiet, it's easier to be present and to feel the speed of my steps, which fit to me and to the surrounding. So this is my message about self-awareness, being present. And to my right side sits Anna-Maria from Holland, and she is very engaged for the world in many ways and on many layers, also many levels. And I'm again and again surprised what she knows and how she can make connections between strategic procedure, between experiencing, between knowledge and many things. And it's up to you now.
Hello, good to see you all. And well, I wish you to be here, because you really do feel like part of us. And we have been bringing you into our field very regularly. And in that sense, it's great that we're here now. For me, what I would like to add to what's already been added here about self-awareness, one of my longings is to awaken the many senses that was already mentioned a little bit, but really physically the many senses that we seemed to have had access to. I was once told there might be 33 senses. Well, I clearly don't have access to them now, but I would love to develop that further. So that has to do with that practice with very, very literally trying to be in the body and seeing what arises, but also paying attention and being aware when things are happening, and especially when there is something like synchronicity happening, those are kind of sometimes moments where I can really think, oh, did I already somehow feel that coming or not, and where in my body would that have been? So that's one of the ways that I do it. Also, when I get sometimes overwhelmed by the complexity of some kind of question or topic that we're speaking about, I try to go into my body, think about in my body what's happening all there, which I don't understand. Sue knows much more about that, but I do know that there's a lot going on, and it seems to be all, self-organizing. I mean, I don't need to think about a lot of it; it happens, and so to trust that we can also, that our senses can guide us and tell us. And there's something about, I think, I'm also here in Switzerland because I'm going to the conference around AI for good, which is, the artificial intelligence, but we also speak about it as allies intelligence. And I think that one of the directions that I would love us to go as humanity is to have these connections with these intelligence, enhance our capacity to develop other senses so that we can interact and also be more clear when we are being exposed to or interacting with these instruments or these kind of, let's say, AI humanoids or whatever they are, that we can stay that it enhances our humanness. And as Living Cities Earth, we're all about humaning well together in aliveness. I am just really focusing on how we could let that be part of our journey to move forward and to see how it can really enhance that capacity. So that's something about my self-awareness, and I am going to hand over to Frank. And here's Frank. Yes.
Hello, guys.
And Frank, for me, is somebody that has many different sides and is always surprising me with new things that he's working on. Very much also action-oriented, and with some clarity around the importance of making clear how we can communicate about things, what we can do with it, but also very creatively. And it's not only about that. There are so many other things that are also having his attention and his caring support, I would say.
Very nice way of putting it. Thank you.
That's how I experience you.
Creative and confused. Are you guys good? Do you need a break from us? You're talking nonstop.
You're the last one.
Okay, I'm the last one. So bear with me. Who am I? I think that's the big question, right? Who am I? I don't know. Am I what is in my skin? What is between my ears, behind my eyes? Am I the larger self of my environment, of my friends, of my social groups? I think the best way I could explain it, what I believe, what I am, because I don't know, I'm still trying to figure it out, is the Buddhist concept of Ki, Ke, and Shu, which is Ki is being the physical self and in the presence. The Ke is the other, the spiritual world, also death and what is beyond life. And the Chu, which is what connects this all, which might be like the entire universe, creation, the field, whatever we want to call it, that is all one, that makes up the self, maybe. But within that, of course, there's 1,000 different possibilities. And I think psychotherapy or some of the modern science teaches us that we are a product of our social upbringing and so on. I believe very much we're a product of our genes, of our ancestors, that's why all these ancestral rites are important, I think, that we remember our ancestors. I mean, we don't remember I don't remember what my great grandfather looks like, but was like, but my face does, my nose does, my ears do, my eyes do. You know, it's like a lot of me is expressed from them, and so I feel like we're connected in a much deeper level with each other in this life than we like to admit. And we're part of the human experience. So that, in a brief moment, was me, or not me. So turn it back to everyone who's not left.
I guess we finish from our side and pass it on to Kim and Sue and Marina and Aleksei. Thank you very much. There is so much more to say, but time is coming to close very soon. So we pass it on to you.
Thank you guys so much. It's so so happy to see you all together and to see you so fulfilled with the beautiful feelings, emotions, and a beautiful space. Thank you for sharing that and fulfilling all our space around the world with your love, passion, and positive emotions and feelings. Thank you so much. So, Sue, Marina, Kimberly, please share what self-awareness means to you.
Shall I go first? Thank you.
Please.
It's been great to see everybody together. And I'm wondering about this beautiful little girl that's in the picture. Does she have anything to share before we move on? Would she like to share anything or whisper to Daddy? No? Okay. Okay. Self-awareness is a word that I constantly think about, and I've worked out that what I do now is I interact the words awareness with consciousness and mindfulness as if it's one big one big picture, and I recognize through the words that if I use the word, starts off a sentence with I think, I'm in my mind. And if I use the words I feel very connected. So I'm constantly, when I remember, picking up on that, because I believe the sensing of the internal with the heartbeat of the external is, and in the present moment is the way I sense being self-aware, and within that awareness being kind and caring and compassionate, not all the time because I'm human, but from the stillness, from the presence comes the awareness. So my current yearning is to be more connected to the invisible, and I just read about it all the time, and I practice, and I find that the connection that I have is so much greater when I'm connected to this, to those who are also have this deep yearning for care and compassion and consciousness. So, yeah, I'm self-aware when I'm still. So, and once I can become aware, the unsettled or the settled mind. So that's me. So shall I pass on to Kim? Thank you.
Thank you. It's really nice to see everybody. Very aware of the difference between self-aware and self-conscious. I'm self-conscious in situations like this sometimes. I think I'm most comfortable or most self-aware just being present, right? So when that there are often, for me, aren't a lot of words with that. So there's listening and, being aware that every single moment is a moment of co-creation, like every single moment. So just an awareness of, what are we doing in this moment, and connected with the different syntony spheres, keeping those, front and center, because they are right here. It's all right here. So, and something I love, like putting attention on, is maybe helping or amplifying good humaning efforts, which is why I love the theme of living cities Earth. And to me, good humaning, the definition that I carry with me and almost in questions is, how do we see humans interacting with all of the other spheres? Like, what types of modeling is going on that can help bring that reality that is here into greater awareness for more humans? So thank you. Thanks for being, I really appreciate being here. And I'll pass to my friend Marina, who we had a lovely conversation last week.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all of you. You know, every time that each of you said your version, your vision of awareness, I was completely agree, and it's rather difficult to go last. But I think that yes, first of all, self-awareness is about being present, and it's about, I would say, about the connection with the inner source. Because when you make your mind so pure that you can be the conduit of the energy which flows through us, it brings us understanding that everything which is happening to us and everything which we are doing are in the alignment and in the symphony, as Alexander says, with all around us. And when you maybe calm your ego and our hustling minds and thoughts which are dancing in our heads every time, when we are able to return to our source and to calm all this mess in our heads, this being present and this being part of everything being around us, being part of this divine everything, divine universe. This is self-awareness for me. It's not, again, I agree with you, it's not about thinking, it's about feeling connected, first of all. Thank you. Alexei, I'm passing back to you.
Thank you so much for a lot of different perspectives to self-awareness, to ourselves, to the world, to connection piece. Let me share a couple of thoughts which I just got while I was listening to you. For me, and it sounds like for you too, the self-awareness, it's like a planet awareness or space awareness. It's unlimited. So it's like a infinity with no end to explore. Why? Because environment where we are in what we're living or where we can find ourselves is constantly changing. We are constantly changing too. And so it means that every next second or every next minute, we're different and everything is different. And I'm sure we all who joined this meeting like 30 minutes ago, and we are already a little bit or maybe a lot, we are different. And I think that's the beauty of our life and of all of this life in this planet and all of the beauty of the life journey. And I also love this idea that self-awareness, it's about thoughts, it's about emotions, it's about body connections and environment and systems and our beliefs, of course. And at the same time, I love the perspective when we say that I have thoughts, or I have emotions, I have a body, I have an environment and organizations, but it's not me. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my actions. I'm not my body. I'm not my environment. And at the same time, all of these things are impacting to us all time, right? All the time. And just to maybe dive a little bit more in this idea, just let's use this association, right? For example, short, right? So I have short, right? But I'm not a short. And sometimes I think it's very important to dissociate yourself with your thoughts, with your actions, with your emotions, with your body, to conscious what's going on, to analyze it maybe a little bit, and maybe to find some ideas why it's happening, or to find tools how you would like to change it. Because all of these things which are ours, right, but we're not them, they're impacting to us, as we mentioned before. Our thoughts can change our emotions and feelings. Our body can react at the same time to the thoughts and to emotions. Psychosomatic explains it a lot, how our mindset condition, let's say, perception, can easily impact to our physical condition, and in opposite way, physical condition, body reactions, body states can impacting to our thoughts and emotions, right? So, and in this case, I would love to invite us to explore how we can, when we need it, when we want it, how we can a little bit dissociate ourselves with our thoughts, emotions, body, environment, and other stuff, to just analyze it, and after that connect again, because all of these things, it's a part of us and our lives. We have it, and it means we can manage it. And of course, in my opinion, it's directly related to happiness. And I'm so happy that we have this amazing opportunity to start our Happy Series Marathon with this topic, and started from the personal level, from individual level, started inside us. And after that, to see this ripple effect, how our condition and our perception can impact to the world. So let me start and share presentation. Oh, can I ask permission to share presentation? And I would like to share with you 3 tools today. Of course, they are not going to cover all topics of self-awareness because it's a lot, but at the same time, we can start with that. Marina, thank you so much. So I'm starting sharing the presentation. Let me know if you can see it. Yes? Okay. Before I'm going to share with you, let me just in a couple of words introduce myself, why I can talk to you about this topic, and why I can offer you some tools, because it's been this year exactly, it's been 20 years how I started my professional journey, and all my professional life I've been working with people, supporting people, developing people, coaching people. And it's so interesting when I were listening my colleagues and their what they're doing and what is important to them, I can relate to each of them. And of course, I'm sure we have a lot of common things with all you who are watching this video, or who who are here with us today. And my journey started with by working with children. And yes, I worked with a lot of children at school, and after that in the government of Moscow, and after that I organized a lot of children camps. And I had my own team, 200 camp leaders who I also taught, and we organized a lot of beautiful events. And after that, I moved already to the corporate world, business world, where I worked as a sales coach, first of all. And after that, I moved to a financial group where I implemented agile and culture of conducting business with a, let me say, strong connection with the clients. And I conducted a lot of soft skills workshops, leadership management, change management, self-management, of course. And this workshop, by the way, it's a part of the series of workshops about soft skills and leadership. And before I moved to the United States, I had my own consulting company. And you know what I love about all of this stuff? Because I believe that when I can help to change each person, someone, and their minds and their feelings or body, or in other important pieces of them, it creates a huge impact to all this person's environment and to the world. And in this case, I want to invite everyone to think about this ripple effect, which we create every day. It doesn't matter what you do. And that's what inspires me a lot, to think that each dialogue, each conversation makes a difference. And now I'm doing life and business meta coaching. And meta coaching, it's when we can put together coaching, psychology, and consulting. I have master's degree in psychology and experience in business consulting. Love to practice spiral dynamics approach and integral approaches. And I'm still entrepreneur, and that's also interesting mindset, which invites you to always focusing what's going on in your life with you, with your business, with your partners, colleagues, people around you, and what you can create, what else you can create. So that's why I'm honored to be here today and share with you this agenda. So we already started talking about definition of self-awareness, and it's amazing, beautiful conversation showed us that there are a lot of aspects of it. But today I want to invite you to explore yourself through 3 frameworks or tools. And first of them, it's a core values. And I have a self-assessment. I have self-assessment tool. I'm so sorry. Something, it's constantly changing in my computer today. Yes. So let me. Sorry. Yes. So core values. I have a self-assessment tool, and I'm going to share it with you, and you can go through this self-assessment and identify your core values, and let's talk about that a little bit later. I want to share with you my favorite frameworks, which can help you to analyze your thoughts and your emotions and identify your life position. There is no bad and good life positions, of course, right? We need all of them, but if we can consciously use them in the right way, in a more appropriate way in a certain situation, we can for sure become, I would say, more much happier, and we can manage all of these feelings, emotions, thoughts which might stack us to get what we want and to enjoy this life. And the framework number 3, it's our beliefs. We have let me say a thinking habits, and they helped us a lot, for sure. And I'm sure that when we're going to explore it, you notice that there are some beliefs which stuck you, holds you back, and there are some beliefs which inspires you and helps you to move forward. And sometimes people say that we are what we believe in, and I can agree with that. Sometimes our beliefs, they really identify our ways of perception, of thinking, and of acting at the same time. So we can check what beliefs do we have, and if you have some limiting beliefs, now I want to share with you two, I would say, simple tools how you can work on them. So how does it sound to you? Let me ask you, dear participants, would you like to just observe what I prepared, or you would like to talk to me about that and practice it? Let's choose the format. Which format is going to be better for you?
I suggest we practice.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you. I love it, because I believe that knowledge without using doesn't make sense, right? So we have a lot of access to a lot of information. We can learn a lot of stuff, but until we use it, it doesn't make sense. Thank you, thank you. So let's move forward. And what self-awareness is, we just discussed, and it's a beautiful conversation. There is just a simple explanation that self-awareness is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own thoughts, feelings, and behavior. I would add also energy. And let's talk about core values, the first tool and framework. So core values are the fundamental beliefs and principles that guide an individual or organization behavior, decisions, and actions. So core values, it's values, human values, which we really feel are important to us in the present moment. And also, core values represent what is the most important and meaningful to a person or group, and serve as a framework for making ethical and moral choices. So it's like a foundation which our thoughts, emotions, feelings, decisions, perceptions are based on. And what's interesting about core values that they are changing. And so it depends on our current state, depends on our environmental situation. It depends on our goals, our dreams, our physical and emotional condition. And core values constantly changing. At the same time, they are changing not like every minute and every day, like maybe our thoughts, emotions, or body condition. Usually it's like a certain period in our life. And in individual coaching, when I work with my clients, sometimes when I feel that they're in a very important transformation period in their life, sometimes I even invite them to name these periods, to find the name. What's this period which you are, let me say, ending, was about to you? And how would you name it? How would you call this period? And this name of the period might represent the core values sometimes. And for example, right, I can definitely share my example now, if you would like. So now I am in a transition period when I need to finish adaptation period in my life to the new life in United States, in America, new culture, new everything, right? And now I'm starting period of scaling my impact and value delivering, and to really use all my capacities and potential to deliver more values to people around me, to organizations, individuals, and yes, that's how I would name these periods. And of course, they represent my core values. So in my previous period, it was the very important values were safety and comfort, and to become like their tribe person, right? Like American society, American people tribe person, right? Somehow to connect with them, with the environment and with culture, right? Now I feel more or less connected, and now I'm ready to be parts of this society, and moreover global society, not only American society, right? And now the core values which are important to me now, it's contribution, it's delivering value, it's inspiration, it's freedom to creativity, I would say, freedom, creativity, and efficiency, of course, too. So I want to share with you. Let me share one document. It's and I'm gonna send it to. And I'm going to send it to chat here. And of course, if you're watching this video later, after, we are going to somehow to attach this file, or maybe share the link where you can download this file. So that's a core values assessment. Core values assessment. Let me show it to you. How you can analyze and identify your current core values. Let me know if you see the document. Yes. So this document has 5 stages. We're not going to do it right now. I'm going to invite you to take your own time in a beautiful environment again, right? When you feel comfortable and you have time to explore yourself more. So let me just explain how can you do it. There are, in this list, and step number 1, there are 33 values, core values. And of course, it's not a limited list. You can add your values, and you can identify your values and put it here in the list. And after that, the first step is just comparison, right? So just compare them to each other, and to identify what's values for you right now, right? That's the first step. Not important, somehow important, important, or extremely important, just intuitively. So what's beautiful about this work? You don't need to rationalize it too much. Just go with your intuition. Intuition, it's the first thoughts which are coming in your mind, the first feeling, the first like sign from your inner wisdom. So in this case, you just put it's not important, this each value, somehow important, important, or extremely important. Step number 2, you can identify 10 the most important values to you. So you of course take the first values which are what you marked as extremely important, and after that you go to important, and after that to somehow important. So you need to just identify 10 the most important core values. Step number 3, it's very interesting to compare each of these 10 core values to each other. So there is squares where you can find the numbers of value which you need to compare and choose only one. For example, what value is more important, number 1 here or number 2? Let's say number 1, health. Let's say number 2, success, right? What is more important to you right now? Again, use your intuition. It's going to help you a lot. And you compare. So in each square, you need to choose one number. And that's how you compare them to each other. Sometimes it might be a little bit challenging, but again, use your intuition. Step number 4, you, based on this comparison, right, you can identify how many, let's say, points each of 10 core values got. And that's how you can identify 3 your main core values at the present moment, right now. And if you just get to know your 3 core values, it might help you to just navigate some situations. But at the same time, I want to invite you to pay attention to step number 5 and write down 3 core values and answer this question: how I will manifest this core value in my personal life. For example, health. How you can contribute more in your health, in your personal life, and how you can manifest health, for example, in your professional life. That's very interesting, right? Or, for example, your core values might be freedom. Okay, how can you add more freedom in your personal life and professional life? Or maybe you're focusing now on core values like family, for example, right? So how you can manifest family in your personal life, how you can maybe spend more time with your family, or how you can increase the quality of this time. And at the same time, in your professional life, what place family takes in your professional life, and how your professional journey can support your core values of family. So that's the self-assessment tool, which I invite you to use in a comfortable time to you, when you have time to do that. So you and colleagues, how does it look for you? Is it clear what to do? Would you be interested to take your own time and to complete it? Please share if you can.
I would like to, Aleksei, and I also want to just say I lost power, so I missed the earlier part of your presentation, but I will watch it. I will watch the recording.
Thank you. Okay, of course, yes. See you and colleagues, how does it look for you?
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I'd love to have a play with this. Forgive me, Alexis, because I'll have to go. I've got a meditation in about.
Of course, no worries. No worries. Thank you for joining us.
I will catch up with the recording. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so let's move forward, and let me again switch the screen to presentation. So we're gonna share this file for sure. And let's talk about next framework. Which is related to our perception of ourselves, situations, and life. And our perception, it's what we think, how we feel about what's going on inside us or around us. And for life positions, you can if you're familiar with the book 7 Habits of High Efficient People, which is written by Stephen Covey, you probably have heard about reactive and proactive position. I love to add 2 more positions and invite us to explore it in a wider way. So our perceptions, 4 life positions, 4 types of perception. How do we perceive, again, ourselves and our life and people around us and situations? And that's the tool which can help you consciously analyze your reactions and your thinking strategies and your decisions. And when you make decisions from some of these positions, there are some risks that your decision might be wrong, or you can analyze these risks and take these risks if you want. So let me introduce you this framework for life positions. There are 2 vectors. Vertical vector, it's action. Active action, it means we're ready to do something, we want to change something. And the passive actions, sounds weird a little bit, right? But it's when we're not going to do anything and we don't want to do anything. So let's also explore the second vector. It's a horizontal vector, and that's the reasons for what is happening. So why, how I perceive the reasons. And there are external reasons and external factors on the left side. It's when I see that everything what's happened in my life is because of something external. It's not me. It's not me for sure. But internal causes in me, it's when I see that I could maybe change something. I could maybe behave different or make a different decision. Or I was thinking about this situation, but probably I didn't put enough effort, or maybe I didn't consider something as a super important. So, but the most important thing that I see causes of current situation, present situation inside me. And let me describe this 4 positions. Again, as I mentioned before, there is no good and bad positions. The main idea to conscious in what position you are now, and if you are already in this position, use it in a more productive way to you, or maybe change this position if you want to do that. So let's start with a position on the left bottom corner. It's a victim position. Victim position, it's when we are got in some situation and we're blaming other people or situation, and we're not going to change anything. Let's explore just simple example. Let's say that you decided to get a driver license, and of course, for get a driver license, you need to pass a test, and after that, you need to pass behind the wheel test, so the practical exam where the instructor checks your driving skills, right, on the streets in your city. So let's say that you went to exam, practical exam in the city, and you haven't passed it. And we ask you, hey, what's going on? What's happened? Why you didn't pass it? So what would person say from the victim position? The person is going to find many reasons outside of themselves. For example, instructor was so bad, so picky, or the traffic in the city was so tough, or the car was so old. And there are many external reasons. And why it's a victim position? Because the person's in the mindset, when the person say, I'm great, it's not me at all, I don't need to change anything, I don't need to take actions here, because it's them or those situations, it's their fault, it's not me. And as I mentioned before, there is, if we're speaking about productivity and efficiency, this is not the best position. Why? Because in this case, I don't want to change anything. I'm just complaining. Moreover, sometimes I'm even blaming other people or situation in general. And that's, if we're speaking about disadvantages of this position, of course, this position demotivates us. This position don't give us opportunity to change something, to move forward. And this opportunity might be very conflict. Let me say, we can create a lot of conflicts here. Why? Because we're blaming, but we can blame other people and can say it's your fault, it's not me, right? For example, in business environments, I didn't complete this task because those person didn't send me information, right? Or something like that. So, and we can create a lot of conflicts, but there is a very huge advantage here. So why we need to be sometimes in victim position? Because from psychological perspective, this position helps us to express all our negative emotions, to don't hide it, don't keep it in ourselves. And probably you know that it's so important to release your negative emotions, you release your negative experience, because if you don't do that, it might stuck in you, in your subconscious, as a trauma. The trauma, psychological trauma, it's when we didn't live through our stress, our tough challenges, our bad emotional conditions. We didn't allow ourselves to really express all of these emotions, and they just stuck in us, in our subconscious. And after that, it's fixable. The good news is that it's fixable. You just need to go to psychotherapist and just get back to those situations and live it through again. That's how we can release and get rid of our traumas. So victim position, again, for you and your psychology, it's very helpful because you can release negative emotions, but for society and people around you might be tough and might be challenging if you're going to blame them a lot. So let's move forward. Kimberly, if you have any questions, right, or you want to just have a dialogue with me, so please do it. Do you have any comments?
I will let you know. I'm enjoying listening.
Okay, that's amazing. I mean, okay. So, let's go to the self-blame position. And what's different here? That we start seeing causes inside us. And let's get back to this example about a driver license, right? So when we ask person, hey, what's happened? Why you didn't pass the exam? Person in self-blame position definitely say, I wasn't prepared enough. I didn't check the car. I didn't build connection with the instructor, for example. I didn't pay attention to how I'm driving. I didn't practice enough before, right? So it's all thoughts always going to start with I didn't, right? Or I wasn't. What's the advantage of this position? That we see reasons inside us, and it means we are empowered to fix it. Because if I didn't do something, I can do it. If I weren't someone, I can be there. I can become this person, right? And so here it's a lot of empowerment, self-empowerment. Here I really know that I didn't do something which I could do, and I can do that. And that's a great news. But what is missing here? It's actions. Here, sometimes people, they dive in this self-reflection mode. They dive in this depression mode sometimes. They start blaming themselves and devaluating themselves just instead of just fix it, instead of just go and take actions. And that's a disadvantage of this position, for sure, because no actions. But the good thing that we see reasons inside us, and it means we have a chance to change it if we add more actions. So that's a self-blame position. Let's move to the top left corner, and we can find the reactive position. So in reactive position, the good news, we are ready to act, we are ready to do something, but we are ready to act only when external factors and reasons are going to push us to do that. Only when something happens. And I love to explain it through the formula as how we say, drive to R, right? It's a basic behaviorism psychology formula. Stimulus creates the reaction. So stimulus and reaction. And in reactive position, it's external stimulus, external factors, so causes. And what people usually say here, let's get back to example about driver license. When we ask person, hey, what's happened? Why you didn't pass the exam, or what do you think about that? And person usually answer here, I could pass this exam if traffic was like lighter, or it was not traffic there. I could pass this exam if instructor a little bit supports me emotionally, for example, right? I could pass this exam if the weather is fine, right? No rain, for example, or snow. So you see, here we see opportunities that we can do some things if something external is different. And that's also the great advantage of this position, that I believe that I can do it. And I know in what environment and in what situation I need to find myself to really be successful with this action, right? So in this case, I can manage it. And that's a advantage of this position. Disadvantage of this position, it's when it's that I am moving somewhere only after external stimulus. And here we can waste a lot of time sometimes to just wait when these like amazing opportunities around us are coming, right? Or sometimes other people, they can use us as their tool to achieve their goals. And in this case, because we're in reactive mode, right? So they can ask us to help them with something, or they can I don't know, do something else towards to us to achieve their goals. But you might be in a situation when you're not going to achieve yours. And that's a disadvantage. So wasting time or becoming a tool in other people's hands to achieve their goals. Again, there is no negative intention from the in these people's minds, right? There is no. They just do what they feel it's better to do, right? And they ask you, and usually people here, they're so in a reactive position, right? They so happy to help or to do something for others, but in this case, they are losing, let me say, focus on their goals and what is important to them. So that's a reactive position. And let's explore proactive position. Proactive position, it's when I see all reasons in my life, everything what's happened inside me as a result of my previous actions, thoughts, emotions, or decisions. So I believe here in proactive position that I can impact in my life and I can change everything. And I'm very empowered to manage my life, to manage situation. And proactive positions, it's when the formula is expanded, right? So there is a stimulus and stimulus inside us. So my wishes, my dreams, my desires, everything what I want to get or who I want to become. That's internal stimulus. And we have a choice. How we want to create it. And after that, we choose the reaction. What actions, what emotions, what thoughts we need to use, I would say, to achieve what we want. So in this case, right, if we compare it with the reactive formula, so reactive formula, it's external stimulus and reaction, right? In a proactive position, it's internal stimulus, conscious choice, how I wanted to make it real, and conscious reaction. So in this case, what is advantage of this position? That I am an author of my life. I'm a creator of my life, and I believe that I'm empowered. I have a right to do what I believe is important to do to me. Disadvantage. Sometimes people can perceive these people as a very selfish people, because they're not, it feels like they're not codependent with anything. They're very independent, very free. And so it's so hard to manipulate them, you know, or to involve them if they don't want to be there. And also, what might be the disadvantage here? I believe that in this life, we need to balance two things, two qualities. It's a proactivity to really impact, to identify what is important to me and just use all your powers and capacities to achieve what you want. But at the same time, we cannot impact to everything. And their second, in my opinion, very important quality is acceptance. Acceptance that your power and capacity is limited. You cannot impact to everything right away or in the way you want sometimes. Sometimes life happens. And in this case, proactive people, sometimes when they put a lot of efforts to change something, to impact, and let me say, reality is more powerful than them, they might easily go down to the self-blame position. So in this case, we need to balance proactive position with the acceptance. And I would say even that proactivity and acceptance are the same thing. Why? Because acceptance, it's how I can be in the present moment, right? Accept the fact of presence or facts in the present moment, right? And proactivity, it's when I can, in each moment of our life, identify what is important, what do I want instead of what I have, or how I want to keep what I have, right? To move forward. So proactivity and acceptance, that's, in my opinion, there are main two qualities which we need to learn. Okay, so there are 4 life positions. And of course, what person would say if we ask the person about exam on all of this stuff, right? So the person would say, oh, you know, it feels like I didn't consider the weather. So next time I'll check the weather and I am going to be prepared and I adjust my driving style to the right weather, to the present weather, right? In the right way. Or the person might say, I could learn or I could practice more, and I think I need to take more lessons, practical lessons, and just figure out some certain situations which instructor mentioned as my weakness or development areas, right? So I'm going to work on it. You see, in these phrases and these reactions, there are a lot of power of impacting. There are a lot of positivity, and there are a lot of acceptance. Okay, it's happened, right? I'm here and now in the present moment, it's happened, but I can impact, I can change it. Kim, how does it sound to you?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's really valuable, and I love the examples that you're using in each case. And 'cause I wouldn't normally, I wouldn't just like look at this and think of, oh, what is the upside of self-blame, or what is it? But each, you know, has its kind of good points, and something like really valuable in this, in that bottom, the passive part, is when you mentioned something that can help pull people out of this is a reminder of action and taking action. Because, you know, if we're around people that, you know, then they're feeling really bad and we listen, but to have that suggestion, you know, I think can help. Well, what I would be interested in is seeing this type of graph or chart overlaid with like sensing, like what happens when we add sensing and kind of attunement to this and our bodies. Like what I feel like it could add another dimension to these life positions, because here it's like, this is what I'm going to, I want to follow these instructions and do it just so. But I'm often in that active part, I go between the two. and I have to really sense into, like, should I just be, you know, should I do nothing? Maybe the right thing is doing nothing. Or, you know, how I'm sure you've heard Alexander talk about being danced, you know, what is that versus like what I think I should be doing, you know, or when I assume things, I'm almost always wrong. So I don't want to assume anything, you know. But I love this, and I'm glad it's just the two of us here, so we could have this conversation.
For sure, yes. And, you know, I totally agree that we can explore more what feelings, what emotions, what energies, and how our body reacts, how our body feels or reacts, right, in these reactions. Yeah, here I'm just explaining only one aspect of it. It's your thoughts, right? What you're thinking, right? Like a cognitive aspect. Yes, but of course, behind that, there are a lot of other reactions and conditions. And, you know, by the way, I'm so happy that you mentioned it, right? To make a choice that I'm not going to do anything in this situation, in my opinion, it's proactive position. Why? Because you're making your conscious choice.
Okay.
Right? Conscious, it's your action to don't do anything, right? It's your plan.
True.
So in this case, you're in a proactive position. Why? Again, because you have a power to make a choice and to follow it. And that's the science of proactive position. It's my life, my choice. Like, you know, sometimes people say, my life, my rules, right? So it's my life, right? My decision, I'm going to follow it. And no one can change it, let's say like that, right? So I'm so confident with that.
But yes. What is it though, like when the awareness of it's not just me, like what if like the focus is on the we, right? And being in community. So I often go back and forth like that too. Because does it change? Does it change when we view it through that lens?
In this case, again, could you give me an example maybe? Let's explore the example.
Well, like my life, my rules, right? When we are living, you know, in an awareness that it isn't just about me, right? That, you know, we're in community and always part of something greater. Unless that I that we're talking about is a collective I. So
I got that question. You know? Yes. So in this case, I believe that everything starts inside us, and we need to identify first, what do I want in this life and for these people and for this community? But in this case, what is the most important aspect, which I always focus by working with my clients, when working with my clients? It's how much you feel empowered to identify what is important to you and to follow it. And sometimes I see people who are too much focuses, they have a lot of focus, external focuses. My kids, my parents, my dogs, my community, society, world, and they're so exhausted. They're so exhausted because they forgot about them. Moreover, the burnout happens when the people, they're too much, they pay too much attention to external tasks, challenges, situations, and they fix it and they forget about their inner child.
Yeah,
Inner
that's a good
child
point.
inside them, right? Who really needs to be alive, who wants to enjoy life, who is, let me say, our inner child is very selfish, right? Our inner child doesn't care about any other people. Our inner child wants to enjoy this life. That's it, right? We have inner parents who is going to take care about others. We have inner adults who can make business and something useful and important and all of these important things, right? But at the same time, so in this case, you know, maybe it's because I'm working with people in this like condition when they no, let me say lost themselves, right? In this case, that's why I'm mentioning it or focusing, right? More, hey, check yourself first. And I love this rule, you know, like an aircraft, put on mask on yourself first and after that help others, right? So I believe in that, so that you can deliver more value to society and to the world from abundance. So fulfill yourself, give yourself everything, safety, comfort, happiness, inspiration, or what we love, right? And after that, share it from abundance. Don't share it as a manipulation, because sometimes people, they of course don't conscious it, but they help communities, they serve other people, not from abundance state. And of course, it's amazing behavior, right? And it's an amazing contribution, but at the same time, they cannot do it in a long way, in a long term, right? They're gonna lose themselves, unfortunately, right? They're gonna let me say, if they don't pay attention equally, right, to themselves too. So that's what I'm thinking here about. And thank you so much for bringing it. It's so important.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. So it's very beautiful. And you know, I missed the beginning of the presentation. Remember, I didn't have power. Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yes. So and of course, as a practice, I want to offer you exercise. How can you use it? So of course you can just reflect on your thoughts and just ask yourself, oh, in what position am I now, right? And if I'm blaming everyone, you can say, ooh, I'm in a victim position. And just this moment of rational moment, I would say, or rationalization moment, when you can catch yourself in some certain life positions, it's already, I would say, 50% of solution, because you're already a little bit dissociated with your emotions and you moved to your rational state. And in this case, that's what we can do. You know what's interesting and what exercise I practice a lot? I start listening people around me, right? Because sometimes to listen yourself, it might be a little bit challenging, right? Because it needs like a lot of like willpower to focus what I'm thinking, what I'm telling, right? It's like work. But sometimes it's easier to start with listening other people. Any conversations, doesn't matter what conversations. For example, you can just watch movies, right? Or share your favorite shows or news, or I don't know, just pay attention to people around you, and you can hear from what life position they are telling their stories.
Right.
Definitely can hear. And that's maybe the great start to practicing of this, let me say, life positions hearing or listening, like life positions listening, when you can really identify and just train this skill. It's just a skill to identify from what life position person is speaking, right? And after that, you can internalize it. After that, you can use it to yourself. And, you know, I remember when it was like about, I don't know, 15 to 18 years ago when I just got to know about this framework. And I've noticed that I don't want to say anything because a lot of my thoughts and a lot of my words were from victim position. And I remember that I like almost was like silent, you know, for 2 or 3 days. I didn't tell anything. Why? Because I was in a very like uncomfortable situation. I just joined my new position, my first sales coach corporate position, and I was so like unhappy there because it was so challenging to learn all of this, right? And if someone would ask me, hey, what's going on, I would say, these guys are not supportive, this is so difficult, blah, 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 right? So, and it was so interesting to just keep silent, you know, just
Yeah.
don't well, let me say, don't make it as a negative virus, right? Don't share it.
Right.
You can leave it through inside you, of course, and talk to yourself or to your friends, to your relatives if you want, but you don't need to sometimes, right, to like stay in a victim position for a long time, right? So, and what's the algorithm, right? Choose a situation where you want to change your life position and move forward. It's usually the most challenging situation. Describe why it doesn't work from the victim position first. So you just take a list of paper, you just draw these 4 squares, like it's in this framework, and you just start fulfilling, right, or fill out the squares. And the first square, which I would invite you to start with, it's a victim square. And so just don't limit yourself here. Just write down every external reason which bothers you, which you're not satisfied with. Just write down, for example, these people are not good, or this organization are not working well, or this weather, for example, it's my favorite example. I'm living in San Diego, California, and it's should be the sunniest place, you know, in the world. But this year it's cloudy, even now. It's so cloudy. It's going to be sunny after lunch, but now it's so cloudy. And I would put why I need, so it's not fair because the weather here is always cloudy and all of this like stuff, right? And that's impacting to my mood. So just release all your negative thoughts and emotions in this square. Everything until you feel that, whew, okay, I just blame everything in this world, right? You can do it. Don't be afraid of that. It's totally okay, right? Just blame. You're just going to write it down, right? No one is going to know about that. Okay, after that, move to the self-blame square and just ask yourself, okay, what I did wrong? What did I wrong? What could I do? And I didn't do that. What could I change? And I didn't change it, right? And in this case, so for example, if we're speaking about in this example as my mood, right? So the weather is always like ruining my mood, right? I mean, cloudy weather. But what could I do and I didn't do it? For example, could I meditate in this morning and fulfill myself with this beautiful energy and love? Of course I could. Did I do that? No. Right?
Right.
Could I don't know, watch some funny, I don't know, stand-up shows and increase my mood? Of course. Could I call to my friends and parents and talk to them? Of course. Did I do that? No. Right? So you see, there are a lot of opportunities, but I didn't use them. So that's a self-blame square. And here you just honestly check what could you do and you didn't do that.
That could take a while. Yeah, I don't usually look at those things. So it take a long time.
And that's great. Why? Because the more things you are gonna find out, right? And to put in this square, the more possibilities to act from the proactive position you will get.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because I'm going to show how it works. So second square, it's when you just put a lot of internal reasons. You could do something, but you didn't do that. And remember that you don't need to dive in it emotionally. You don't need to blame yourself here. It's just rational exercise. You just need to identify things which you could do and you didn't do. That's it. Okay. You don't need to live through that, or that's really in this case you can really stuck here for a while. Yeah. So it's just rational exercise. Okay, because the goal is not to put yourself in all bad situations in your past, right? No, it's a psychotherapy work. Go to psychotherapist, and psychotherapist can help you, right? No, here we are working on how you can get to the practice position. So the next step is a step number 3, right? Write events that could affect your situation using the sense I can do it if, right? For example, I can be in a better mood if I am going to set my morning routine and follow it. Right? So that's an example. So what should happen, or what the external things should happen, right? That I can really impact to the situation where I am now. Or for example, I can be in a better mood if some of my friends can chat with me in the morning, or can call me, or can text me good morning, for example. I don't know, or something like that, right? So that's external. And in this case, we are just creating a lot of conditions. So what conditions should happen that I feel much better? That's the square number 3. And after that, the step number 4, it's magic. So we don't touch the victim square. That this square already worked well for us because we expressed our all negative emotions. We just released ourselves. We created the space for ourselves, right? And for our new feelings and thoughts and emotions. But we need to use self-blame square and reactive position square. How? We need to take everything what we wrote in the square number 2, self-blame square, right? And just do that. Because if you could do that, and it could change your perception and your situation, but you didn't do it. So what's the way to fix it? Just do it. So simple, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we already touched with Kim, right? It's a balance between thinking and doing. And I see some people, they love to do a lot and they're not thinking sometimes, right? And they got into troubles, right? Some people, they are thinking a lot, they don't do anything, they're so afraid to fail, right? Or something like that, and they don't get experience. So keep balance, right? And from square number 2, just everything what you put, I could do this, and I didn't do it. Okay, just put it in the square number 4 as an action plan. If you could do that, just put an action plan and do that. And let's talk about how you can use the square information square number 3, right? So conditions. If my friend's gonna call me and tell me good morning, I'm going to feel much better, for example, right? So how can I make these conditions real? It's so simple. I need just to call my friends and ask, hey, can you just, when you wake up, think about me and text me, good morning. That's it. That's just what I need. Can you do that for me? And I'm sure you will find friends who can do it for you, right? That's it. So take a power, take responsibility, and make these conditions real.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you can use this 4th life positions framework and this practical exercise. Kim, what do you think about exercise?
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's easy to see how it works, and again, I love your examples. You make it very easy to understand, and I can take this away and do this on my own time. So thank you. It's great.
For sure. Just 4 square, 4 left positions, and remember, it's a rational exercise, right? So if you are still feeling in a bad mode, right, or in the negative emotions, I want to share one more exercise or tip which can help you to release faster your negative emotions. Honestly, I did it this morning and it was so much fun. So this morning I woke up and I've noticed that one significant for me person promised something and didn't do that, and I got a little bit upset. And I decided, okay, you're a coach, you're a psychologist, how are you going to fix it, right? How are you going to get to the proactive position from the like a victim position? Because of course my first thought was this person is so bad, this person doesn't like me, and I'm not important to this person, and all of this stuff, right? So I just got in the victim position. I've noticed it, and I say, okay, let's do something with that. And I did this exercise. So the exercise is, when you are in a victim mode and you want to blame everyone, right? Just do it. So express it as the worst actor in the world. The worst actor. And how did I do it? I just start telling myself, yes, this person doesn't care about you. Yes, this person is so bad, is so rude, is so unkind to you, and you are so beautiful and so great person who doesn't deserve it, and all of this all of this stuff, right? You're just playing this drama. You're just playing out this drama, right? And the one moment you notice that you started laughing because you express it and you got dissociated with that. You just let me say, in your mind, you just devaluate it. It's not important at all right now, right? You just expressed your emotions, and that's it. So please practice this exercise. If you're in a victim position, if you want to blame someone, just play it as the worst actor in the world.
Embrace it. That does sound like fun.
It's so much fun. And you've noticed that here, right, I started the actor blaming other person, said this person is bad, right? But after that, I'm getting back to myself, right? I don't deserve it, right? And I am a good person. So I'm start empowering myself. I'm start valuing myself more. I start getting like more connected to myself, and it's happening happens naturally during this drama, right? Because we're always starting with something external, and after that we can go to our internal condition. Okay, so that's the second framework. First one was self-assessment, core values, self-assessment. Second, it's 4 life positions. And I want to invite us to talk about the framework number 3. So it's related to our limiting and supportive beliefs. And do you remember I mentioned that our beliefs, it's like thinking habits. And we just have a habit to think in a certain way or perceive the situation in a certain way. And beliefs, it's like a main tool of our, let me say, thinking patterns. And what belief, what is it, right? So belief is just a thought which we really believe in, right? Or limiting beliefs or supporting beliefs, right? Or attitudes. Sometimes we call it attitudes, right? So attitude, it's just a thought which we really very strongly believe in. For example, if I believe that I can be happy at any time, happiness, it's a feeling, right? So I can feel feelings only in the present moment, right? And if I want to be happy right now, I can be happy right now. There is no conditions for that, right? If I believe in it, it's my supportive belief. Why? Because this belief makes my life better, right? Or if I believe opposite things, for example, to become happier, I need to earn more money, or I need to make my income stable. Ooh, that sounds like a limiting belief. Why? Because it's only one way how you can be happy. And is it true? Of course not. You just believe, right? You just believe in it. I can share as a coach who are working every day with clients, we have a lot of limiting beliefs. And you know what's interesting? That limiting beliefs in the past, they were our supportive beliefs. For example, when in my, I don't know, for example, in your early stages of your career, you believe that, yes, I need to work more to get more money, for example, or to build my brand, or to learn some things, or to become professional or recognized professional, right? this belief helped us a lot. This belief, right, that I can be happy after I become professional, I earn money, and I buy some certain things, which means I'm successful, right? So they drive us, right? These beliefs a lot, and they helped us a lot. But when you, let's say, when you got on the next level of your life, your core values are changed, and in this situation, your former supportive beliefs become your limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, well, let's say I'm describing like a age crisis, right? So in 20s, when we are in our 20s, right? The main idea is to gain skills, to build brains, to build some our, let me say, picture of us as a person, as a professionalist, right? So just work on our self-identification and to find our place in society, and to prove to this society that we are valuable, that we are who can contribute, we are who can be a partner for society, right? That's in our 20s. And of course, there to these supportive beliefs that I can relax and be happy and enjoy life after I'll do all of this stuff, right? But the crisis of 30s, right? Sometimes people call it middle age crisis, right? It's totally opposite. It's about that, okay, I built career, I don't know, got children, right? Bought house, cars, and everything, but I'm not happy now. Yes, I did a lot of stuff, a lot of things which society is expecting from me, right, to do. I did it. Okay, I proved to everyone, to myself, that I'm a good person, right? And I'm a professional, for example, but I'm not happy. And does it all this make sense? And that's a crisis, middle-age crisis, right? How we call it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we definitely need to change our beliefs, for sure.
Right.
And yes, and here our former supportive beliefs, they become our limiting beliefs. And so how we can work on our beliefs? The first of all, you need to identify your limiting beliefs. And the best way to identify them is to ask yourself the question, why you still are not living your best life? Why you don't do that? Why you don't have what you wanted to? Why you're not happy? Why your dreams are not coming true? Why it's not happening like you want? Again, this very provocative question, right? Because for some mature people, their answers might be, I'm happy, I'm good, I'm great, right? In this case, you're really great and you're happy. Don't think about that, right? But if you're not satisfied with something, that's the cause or reason to explore your limiting belief. Yeah, Kim, say something, please.
Yeah, I mean, we all know people too that are stuck in this, and it's really, it makes up for a painful life.
Yes, for sure. Kim, do you have any limiting beliefs which you are open to share, and maybe we can work with them right now? If you feel comfortable, if you want. If not, it's okay. I can just provide some examples also.
I can't retrieve any right this second. I am certain that I do.
It takes time.
I do. I just can't retrieve them this moment.
It takes time for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, let me provide you like the most famous, I would say, limiting belief, right? So, for example, a lot of people, they think to earn more money, they need to work more. Like put more efforts, put more energy, put more resources, knowledge, invest in yourself, invest in others, invest in your community, serve community more, and a lot of this stuff you need to do to get to the point where you're going to be, where you can get money, and money create the money flow, and just, or for example, be happy, right? The same thing.
Right.
And so that's a for sure limiting belief, because how we can identify it? Because a person did a lot already, or already doing a lot, but it's not working. Right? So, but the person continue believing it. And what we can do with that? So I have two tools to offer you. And so the tool number one, write down a list of your limiting beliefs and the opposite of their supportive beliefs. So we call it reframing. So just reframe it, right? For example, if person limiting belief is, I need to work a lot to get more money or become happier, right? So what might be the supportive belief? Instead of working more, I need to work smarter. You see, right? And I can get more money and become happier, and probably feel much better, right? Because working more is sometimes very tough, right? You become tired, right? So you see, you can just change your thought, reframe it. Or for example, people, as we mentioned before, some people think that happiness is somewhere in the future, right? And we call it postpone life syndrome, postpone life. So we always think, and because I'm originally from Russia, from USSR, right? Let's say in USSR, it was a very collectivism country, right? And the main ideology of USSR was you need to contribute all yourself in society. And when society got on a new level of success, you're going to live better life. And in USSR, they had a 5 years plan, general plan, right? And they're all like, let me say, motivation and advertising was, when we hit the 5 years goals, we're going to live much happier life. And people believed in that. And I definitely can say that even my generation, I didn't live in USSR, right? I was born like 3 years prior USSR crashed, right? But my parents and my environment and a lot of people, right, from who surrounded me, right, they used to live there. And they really still have this thing that, okay, somewhere in the future, we're going to live better. When we're going to accomplish something, achieve something, or do something, right? So in this case, that's also limiting belief that future someone in happiness, right? And how we can reframe it, right? Again, as I mentioned before, for example, the happiness, it's a feeling, it's emotion. You cannot feel emotions in the future. It's working like that, right? So you can feel, you can feel emotions only here and now. So it means happiness is here, right? And right now you're listening that, and you can find the happiness and feel warm feelings in your chest, right? And just feel, oh my life, oh my gosh, the life is so amazing, so beautiful, and I don't need to do anything to be happy.
Right.
You see, that's supportive belief, right? We just reframe it. But if sometimes to reframe it, you need to, to like change your perspective to that, right? You need to have some knowledge, maybe how else it might be. And here, psychologists, coaches, or like just talking to your friends can help you, right, with that. But sometimes it's a little bit might be challenging. But the tool number 2, that's what you can definitely use to yourself. And I love this tool because sometimes I like to be a little bit provocative. And I, of course, ask my client, hey, can I a little bit provoke you, right? Just if you feel comfortable, right, and say it. And they say, yeah, let's do it. And so what we can do, if you found out your limiting beliefs, I call this tool shaker, right? You need to shake it, like create the earthquake in your mind, right? And just shake it. So change your limiting beliefs by asking yourself the questions. For example, if you believe that happens somewhere in the future, right? What first would I ask, right? How do you know this? So who did tell you that? Where did you get this idea? You see, because belief, it's a false idea, right? Where did you get this idea? Right? And usually these three, yeah. And usually these 3 questions, they confuse people a lot. I'm confused and means shake their attitudes, shake their like pillar, right, of their food. And they say, I don't know, where did I get it? I don't know, who did tell me that? Or probably people can say, oh, I've heard it from my mom, from my parents. I say, oh, it's just your parents' fault. You see, I start devaluating that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I start showing that it's just fault, your mom's fault. Right? Oh, interesting. Doesn't mean that it's true for everyone.
That's valuable.
Yeah, you see, right? So,
Oh yeah.
and or for example, you know, sometimes if the person say, like, person so strong with this belief, I can ask, okay, let me ask you this way. Why is it so important to you to continue believing it? Why is it so important to continue believing this limiting belief in this idea and just thought? Why do you like hold it so strong, so bad? What's going to happen if you just release it?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? How your life might be changed if you really just say, okay, I was thinking this way, but I can think different way, right?
That's great.
What do you think, Kim? Please share. What do you think about these limiting supported beliefs and these tools?
I think it's great, and it's a really valuable technique, because you are, by doing this, you are creating conditions that allow for shifts in thinking or consciousness to occur, because we don't often examine our beliefs or our assumptions, right? And when we do, you know, you can get to a place where, you know, I think you mentioned the freedom or liberation before, you know, that that's really it. I mean, and that's also, it appeals to me, because that's part of why, you know, friends and I participate in dialoguing, because in those types of spaces, you know, so our own beliefs that we don't even know we have can come up, right? So I like it a lot. And I don't often think of, well, just ask the question, ask someone or ask myself the question. It doesn't occur to me. So I think it's really nice what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And you're right. You know, our psychology, we have very strong psychology protection mechanism. So we have consciousness and we have subconsciousness. Everything what we are discussing today, it's our consciousness. It's what you can really think, feel, or catch or notice about yourself. And that's your conscious piece. And it's like an iceberg, right? So iceberg, it's a small part above the water and huge piece below the water, right? So top part of iceberg, it's our conscious. Bottom part, which is underwater, it's our subconscious. And sometimes a lot of subconscious components, like our beliefs, traumas, negative experience, attitudes, minds and patterns, they are managing our thoughts, emotions, feelings, and behavior and decisions. And in this case, how you can notice there is something related to your subconsciousness. That's how I usually explain what's the difference between coach and psychotherapist, right? And how you can identify who can help you more. So if you've noticed that you're trying to change something and you did try several times and it's not working, it means two things. Think number one, maybe you need to find new ways to change it. And that's what coach can help you for sure, right? Or probably you have some trauma or some strong limiting beliefs which are not really allow you to find yourself in a new level of your life, on a new situation which you wanted to create. And in this case, you can go either to coach, which can help you to work with your beliefs, either to psychotherapist if it's related to your traumas. And each coach, of course, knows the border and difference, right? And coaches are not working with traumas, right? We can notice it, and we can invite our clients to go to and work with a psychotherapist about certain traumas, right? And that's the difference, because sometimes we need a partner or thinking partner. I love, the explanation of coaching. Coaching, it's a thinking partnership. And in this case, because our psychology system is very protective, self-protective, right? we cannot understand everything about ourselves until certain moment or until other person reflects it to us, show it, right, to us. Hey, I think you are like believe in this, for example, thing, right? But it's not true, or it might be different, right? Or try to think in different ways, right? And until we got this like feedback, right, we might not even think about it. Why? Because our subconsciousness protects us from our self I would say disaster, right? Because if we would not have our subconsciousness, which is not allow us to do something there, right, to like really change it dramatically, we cannot, let me say, psychologically kill ourselves, destroy ourselves, right, destroy our psyche. And it's like a reflect, how you call it, not reflects, how you call it, when we touch the fire, right, and our hands is like
Reaction.
Yeah, it's like our like
Response or automatic response.
yeah, like automatic response from our body, right, which is not protect us to like really damage our body, right? We instincts, right, we have these instincts, right, survival instincts and mechanism, right, which protects us. The same things with our psyche, right, psychology. So we cannot explore everything in our subconsciousness, right? But we can explore something which is relevant at the current moment, right? It's like a layers, right? And we can take the top level and work with that, right? But other levels are going to come over. So that's why I invite you and offer you, if you have any questions, you can schedule 30 minutes free call with me, and I'm going to help you to either work on your life positions, either work on your limiting beliefs, all other topics, personal and professional, we can discuss for sure. And if you are struggling, sometimes a lot of people, they ask me, hey, I have this situation, but I don't know who can help me, coach, psychologist, psychotherapist, or maybe psychiatrist, or what should I do, right, with that? So if you have some type of these questions, please feel free to book a 30-minute call, and I would love to support you and provide you more clarity, what's going on, and what you can do to help yourself to fix it and to live a better life. So that's what I prepared for our conversation today. And in my opinion, the art of self-awareness is a mastery of self-reflection and managing your thoughts, emotions, and actions in accordance with your core values. And here, I just want to remind us that to be able to self-reflect or to analyze or to focus on something, you need to have the very high level of willpower. And willpower, it's ability to focus. Willpower, we have like a battery, like a physical energy battery. For example, in the morning, we might be more rested, and the nighttime more tired, right? The same things with willpower. So in the morning, if you're rested, if you slept well, if you ate well, right, your willpower ability to manage your focus of attention, your conscious, is higher. But when you're getting tired or go through the stress, your ability to manage yourself is low. So if you're in a very stressful situation now, physically, emotionally, mentally, you need to rest first, physically. Just go and sleep. Sometimes I meet my clients and we have like 45-minute session and I see they're so exhausted. And they say, hey, let's talk. I'm exhausted. I need to work on something. And then I say, hey, you look so tired. Go sleep. Take 45 minutes nap and you're going to feel much better. And call me tomorrow. Right? Because it's impossible to discuss with you anything, right? You don't have willpower to focus to really change. You're not ready, right? And that's what I want to invite you. And again, as I mentioned before, so use the aircraft safety rule, put a mask on yourself first, and after that, you're going to be able to help others from abundance of all of your resources. So, Kim, thank you so much. And thank you all colleagues who participated in the beginning. And thank you for all you who are watching this video. And I hope this video is going to really help you to feel this empowerment, to empower yourself, and to manage your thoughts, your emotions, and to really become a creator and author of your life. Because you are already. Kim,
Mm.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Aleksei. Beautiful. So I will see you again soon.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, thank you. So have a wonderful day and see you. Bye-bye.
You too. You too. Bye-bye.
So I'm going to share the file, and after that, I'm going to finish the call. And there is a file in the chat. And thank you so much for being with us and watching this video.